Hey loves, welcome to the Gracefully Educated podcast. I'm your host, Carmela Carter, and this is the place where we blend faith, wisdom, and learning with grace. I have the pleasure and honor of sitting with Miss Pastor, Miss Principal, teacher, like all of the things, mama, wife, Miss Tonya Ballard. Welcome.
Thank you. So glad to be here.
I am so glad to have you. So let me tell you guys how we met, right? So we met through Cat Council, and I know she'll mind me telling her name. She said, "You have to meet my pastor." I said, "Your pastor?" When we were her and I, she's like, "Yeah, you got to meet him." She said they work for us too, the company we were all working for, and she was like, "You have to meet him." And then I officially met you, I think, at a retreat or something.
Yes,
and in person.
And what a time we had there. Before we go further, I do want to say I'm the deacon at a church. My husband is the pastor.
Okay, Miss Deacon. All of the things.
But I'm not running.
And well, she did not say no deacon. She said, and so meeting you has been a pleasure. Every time I'm in your presence, I don't know if you guys can feel it yet, but you will feel the grace of God that flows over your life. It has just been, every time I see you is an honor. So thank you again for being here. So we're here to talk about education journey, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
We would love to hear, I can't wait to hear your journey into education. How did you show up as an educator? What made you want to be an educator? How did this all happen?
Well, it started with my godfather.
Okay.
So I went to Seton Hall University.
Oh, really? My husband's an alumni of Seton Hall. Wow.
Small world. So I'm a pirate. And when I started at Seton Hall University, I was a communications major.
Oh, wow.
So my plan was to be like an Oprah Winfrey or a news broadcaster.
I love it.
And I was a communications major, and my uncle said, who had worked for the Daily News at the time, that it was a very unpredictable field to be in. And so he recommended that I go into a field with more stability.
Right.
And I trusted him. He was also my godfather. And I ended up changing my major to education. And what a blessing that was. That was a decision that was well made. So after I graduated from Seton Hall, my major was secondary education, and my concentration area was English. And so at the time, my husband we were a part of the AME church. And I don't know if you know, but in the AME church, it's an itinerancy. So pastors can move every year if the bishop sees fit for that to happen. Like, so you have an appointment up every year. And so our first church that we were assigned to was in a town called Whitesboro, New Jersey.
Really?
And that's near Cape May. And we were there, and there were no positions at the high school open at that time. So I ended up, my start was being an aide for a student who was blind.
Wow.
And when I was at that particular elementary school, there were no teachers of color in the entire school.
Wow.
There was the only adult person of color was the vice principal. And so in addition to being the aide for that student, I started, now I didn't know anything about stepping.
Yeah.
But I knew enough to bring some kids together.
Wait, we talk about stepping? Okay.
But I knew enough to bring kids together and do a little something. So she's now a pastor herself, but she was a member of the church, and myself, we both taught in the area. We started this step team, and there were 100 kids in the team. Yes. 100 students.
Wait till my husband hears this story.
That was the first time that parents of the children of color, of our Black and brown kids, were ever at the school. And they were so impressed and, so excited. And so I was like, okay. The vice principal asked me to please take the praxis so that I could teach younger grades. She said, we need you to make a larger impact in this community. And she paid for it. Yes, she was serious, about investing in people of color for our children. So I took the test, I passed, and I was the only teacher of color in that building for many years.
Wow.
And it was a blessing.
Yeah.
It was an absolute blessing. Children who were a part of my church were also students at my school. It was just a lovely experience. And then on the church side of things, we lived in the parsonage right next door to the church. And I came home from work one day and the back door was open.
Oh, wow.
Walked inside of the house, and on the stove there was fresh baked bread. When I tell you these people took care of us.
Wait, they came in here?
They came in the house and made bread for us.
Wow.
One of the assistant pastors who was on staff shared that, the Lord spoke to her and shared that it was her purpose to help our family. We had a nanny. I'm telling you, we had no money. We were just starting out. We were young. Yeah. And so when I tell you it was a blessing to be surrounded by people who treated us like family.
Wow.
And I share all of this because those were the beginnings. Like, that is what helped to shape the kind of principal I became and the kind of leader and educator that I've been, because those were my beginnings. I had people who poured into me. Wow. And help me to understand that everybody doesn't have it out for you. Like, there are people in the world who have good hearts and genuinely just will love on you. Right. And that's what they did.
It sounds like you had a lot. I love when the conversation flows like this. It sounds like you had a lot of God moments. A lot of God moments. Those ordained moments, those divine moments that nobody can make up. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Your godfather.
Yes.
Starting there.
Yes.
Just being in the field, God put him in a space to then put you in a space to say, you know what? Let me go and do something this way.
Yes.
And then get into the school and you being there for the blind person. Because I know you do sped stuff now.
Look at you putting it all together.
I mean, this is what I do. Yes. And it's just, and then from there, then just being there for the principal being there for you, God moment, and then you being there for the black and brown children, God moment. And sometimes he will just allow us to have those moments so that it keeps us on track, and it kind of builds our faith.
Yes,
because I'm sure your confidence was built.
Oh, absolutely.
Throughout the process.
Absolutely. Until that time, I had never been. I always grew up in a black community. I did go to Catholic school, an all-girls Catholic school, and that was predominantly white. And so, but this was the first time as an adult I had that experience. And so I felt very confident with whatever community God placed me in, that whatever was the need for that particular space, that he would work it out for me. Right. And so that was a blessing. And so then after I taught there for a couple of years, and then my husband, they asked him to move to a church in Toms River, New Jersey. And so when we moved there, I continued to work there for a little while and then transitioned into a school in Plainfield. And when I tell you the experiences that I had there, I was able to loop with my students. So I was able to be with the same students for 7th and 8th grade. Wow. Now, this is what I said I would never do. I told the Lord, I'll do anything but middle school. That's what I told the Lord. Okay. I said, I will teach anybody.
Right.
They are hormonal, and I'm not doing middle school.
Middle school is a lot.
And when you tell God what you're not going to do, he laughs. And so when it was time to find a job there, the only positions I could find were in middle school. Okay, Lord, I'll do it for 1 year, and then that's it.
Right,
I'm not.
right.
And I fell in love with middle school.
Really?
The thing that I said I did not want to do was where I fell in love.
Yeah.
I love their energy.
Mm-hmm.
They were old enough where you could have conversations with them about the real world and life, but they were still young enough where their innocence was still there, and they could still be molded. Much more easily, and so that was a great experience. And most of my career has been working with middle school. That was the large part. Exactly what I said I didn't want to do was where I spent the most time. Wow. And I was blessed to be able to become a principal as well of a middle school, a founding principal for a new middle school, which was phenomenal. And it was like when you were talking about those God moments, they all came together. They all came together and helped us to build a really great school with all of my teachers were new. And usually, typically, like
new into education or new period?
New, one or the other. Wow. In some way, including myself. Like, I was a new principal. I had never been a principal before. My director of operations was new to being a principal and new to our organization. The teachers were a mix of being new to teaching, or this was like, their first time at our school. No one had more than 3 years experience. Wow. And that was unheard of, because usually when a new school was founded, they would have, some stronger teachers from other schools to come over and to help, set the foundation and set the culture. So that was an interesting first year, and I'm glad.
Did you sleep?
Oh, of course not.
I know.
There was no sleep.
I can't even imagine.
Sleep? What was that?
Sleep where?
What was that? But the energy, the love of God will fuel you for the work that he has for you to do. And so we, my husband and I, prayed, and I have, a great circle of friends who I've asked to pray for us. When the night before we were going to open the school, some of my friends from high school were there helping to put up bulletin boards. My family members were in there helping to set up, materials out on the desk. Wow. 2 members of my church who I've adopted as grandparents, because, all of my grandparents have passed away. They were at the church, and she was anointing the school. Yes. And this is what was happening the night before this school was bought for. So when I tell you the theme for our school, I don't know, the Lord just gave it to me. Ohana was what our, it's from Lilo and Stitch. Yeah. And Ohana means family, and family means no one is left behind or forgotten. Aww. So that's what that means. And from the very beginning, that's what our school was about. It was about family. Wow. And a part of the reason for that was, I don't know if you remember 9/11?
Yes, I remember 9/11. I was working in the doctor's office when it happened.
So I was working in Cape May courthouse at the school, and I was teaching 5th graders, and my husband was at work, right? All of us were at work. And one of the things we talked about is at that time was we spend more time with our coworkers than we do with our families. Yeah, true. And our students oftentimes spend more of their waking, productive hours with us than they do with their own families. Yeah. That is a tremendous gift and responsibility.
It really is.
And a blessing.
But I don't know if educators look at it that way. And that's what this platform is about. It's like, I need you to see that this right here, what you're doing for these children and for these adults, whoever you show up for as an educator, you are the life change for them.
Mm.
They're literally sitting in your presence for life change. And I came from a middle school. My previous job was at a middle school, and I was a dean of students there. And middle school, something that I said I would never do too. I don't know how I ended up in a middle school, but I was there, and I tell you, it was such a blessing to be in that middle school. What were some of, because a majority of your education journey has been in middle schools, what were you say some of the challenges that you faced as a middle school teacher, principal, that and then how did you overcome that challenge? Just give us like maybe one or two that, you know what, I faced this challenge as a middle school educator. This is how I overcame them. So that if there's someone listening and they're in the dirt of middle school, and I say in the dirt because those hormones are crazy, but it's a beautiful work. It's a beautiful, beautiful work. What would you say to, tell us about those experiences if you can.
Well, one, I think, back to this idea of Ohana and family, what was really important was bringing families along in the journey. And I think for so many of our educators, one of the biggest challenges we have oftentimes is family involvement and how to make that happen. And so, because while the students are with us most of that time, the foundation comes from the family. And so we really were thought carefully about like, how do we bring them along? So some things that we did in the middle school, we had a family night where we had parents experience the day in the life of a student at our school. And the student was the one who kind of taught their parent. So this is what we have to do a do now every time we go in. This is what a do now is, right? And the parents had to
don't tell me they had to. You know how hard it is to do a 7th, 8th grade do now as an adult.
Absolutely, right? But in that experience, it helps parents understand the level of and the rigor of the work that their children are doing, and how important it is that they be locked in,
right?
When they're in class and that they're engaged, and the children were so proud to be able to show that, no, mommy, you got to do it like this, like they got to tell. That was a proud moment for them where they got to share with their families, and that's what we wanted, right? We also, another instance, I remember a family. You have students we have a large influx of Spanish speaking students who are coming into our schools, and they have the challenge of not only having to learn the content, but doing that while having to learn a whole new language, at the same time. And having conversations with the students about how what they're doing is changing the trajectory of not just themselves, but their whole family. We're constantly engaging in those conversations with students. You have to have those moments where I call them come to Jesus meetings. I don't know if anybody else calls it that, but when a student is like acting, out of themselves and out of who God has called them to be, it's like, come on,
right?
Let's go have a conversation. And we go and we have a conversation, and it's like, this is not who you are. Right. Just the other day, we had a student who was suspended, and so when they came back, we had a meeting with the student and their family.
Right.
Mandatory every time. And I think like what has helped me is I don't have to change. Like if you talk to students in front of their families the same way you do when you're at school.
Yeah. Yep.
Then they know you're genuine.
Yep.
Like I'm not gonna be a different person.
Right.
So I told this young man right in front of his mother, I said, before we even met you, we loved you. We didn't know your name, but you were coming to fill a spot in this school.
Right.
And so we love you. Whatever you do, however you act, we're always going to love you.
Wow.
But you have got to make some different decisions about the kind of person who you want to be.
Right.
And whether you want to engage in the opportunities that we have for you, or for the opportunities that the street is offering. That's not what your mom wants for you. And I shared, your mom is working hard to make sure she puts a roof over your house.
Exactly.
Single parent.
Exactly.
You don't have to figure that out. You don't have to try to figure out all the other things. Your only job is to make your mother proud.
Right.
That's it. And what's going to make her proud is you coming to school and doing what you need to do. And so I think like having those hard conversations, even when you have to reprimand a student, it has to come from a place of love.
Love, yeah, 100%.
And I believe that has been what's helped me as an educator, like my whole life, is how do I make sure that everything I say and do is coming from a place of love, and they know it and they feel it and they experience it. And then even if they stray, right? That seed has been planted.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the hardest part of being an educator. You want to see your seeds planted blossom tomorrow. And it's like, that's not how farming works.
No,
it doesn't work that way.
No, Ms. Ballard, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. I still keep in contact with a lot of my middle schoolers. They actually are my friends on Instagram. Oh my, well, I don't follow them. They follow me. And it's a blessing because I get to see, like when they inbox me and tell me, I got this on my, I'm like, I am so proud of you. I'm able to really speak into that. And I think that when educators, that's why I have this whole platform like GraceFully Educated. When they go into education, they need to come with grace and love. Like, absolutely. Love will help you through everything. And I can honestly say that I love the space that I'm in because my biggest teacher is Jesus, and him is an educator.
Yes.
Jesus was a teacher.
Yes, he was.
They go to him, Rabbi, teacher.
Yes.
And as an educator, I want to make sure that I am representing him.
Yes.
In all ways.
Absolutely.
Right?
Well, this is an office of ministry. Teaching, that's what it is.
Oh,
it's
it really
an office
is.
Of ministry.
It really is.
Yes.
So right now you are working in high school, right?
Yes.
So what's the difference? What do you see like the challenge between high school and middle school? Like, what's the difference there?
The older the students are, the more of a guide on the side you are, right? And so I'll say this. I was blessed with the opportunity to teach my own children. So
like
my
children.
Biological children.
Wow.
Well, they're all my children, but my biological children.
Wow.
I taught my I taught my daughter and my oldest son ELA, because that's how I began my journey in middle school. And then my oldest son, I was an instructional fellow at his school on my way to becoming a principal.
Right.
And I found that as my children grew up, like even from like when they were in elementary school and we at Sunday school and vacation Bible school, we would load all the kids up into our vans and take them and have experiences and so forth. So as they got older, it felt like the students who I was teaching and who I enjoyed teaching got older. Wow. So when they were in high school, I kind of transitioned over in high school too. Wow. And you see now that those seeds that you planted when they were in middle school, now you have to give them room as high schoolers to actually work that out. Right? Like you've done the thing, you've planted the seed, God will, others will water that seed, and God brings the increase, right? And so that's what high school is. It's other people now watering that seed that was planted. Those messages that we gave them in middle school, some of them you still come back to, many of them you still come back to. And a lot of times it's just like giving them the room and the space to be able to work that out. But I tell our parents in high school, it doesn't mean that they don't need us anymore. Because, sometimes we think, oh, they're in high school now. That's it. I've done my job. But they still need us guiding them on the side, like helping them to make those decisions, critical decisions. Wow. So like my messages now have changed from, making your mom proud in middle school to now in high school, the message is you are 3 or 4 years away from being a man or a woman out in the world who's going to be making decisions about where you're going to live. Are you going to college? Are you going to trade school? And these decisions that you're making as a 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old are going to impact you when you are 80 years old.
No lies. No lies at all. No lies.
So everything that's happening in these 4 years
right.
is so critical to set you up for the rest of your life. That is major. And as teachers, we have to really help our kids see that, because they can't see past this week, let alone, 40, 50 years from now.
Yeah.
But if you don't, for the students who are saying, I don't like school, and I tell them, baby, sometimes that is going to be the case. I love being an educator.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the paperwork, but that's part of the process.
Yeah.
And so you have to learn that in life, whatever you're going to do, there are going to be parts of it that you love and parts of it that you don't like. But you have to take care of the things that you have to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah, for sure. So, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
If you had to pick one biblical character, we can try not to use Jesus.
Okay.
That you feel has helped, that you feel like my life is like this person in education. Would you like me to give you an example?
Give me an example.
Sure. So there is, we have, David.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So David, before he became his self as king, he fought lions. He fought bears.
Yes.
And because he fought those lions and bears, he was able to take down the giant. There was no fear in his heart. So in education, sometimes we have those lions, we have those bears, but those are all preparing us for our giant. And then once we take down our giant, we're ready to be leaders, not king yet, but leaders of armies. So how, for me, for David, there's so many lions, there's so many bears that I've had to fight, and I had to take down giants. I've had to take down giants, but I did it all in worship. I did it all praising the Lord. I did it all with my face towards him. I did it all with him saying to me, I'm the apple of his eye. So
that's awesome. Oh, that's rich. I guess, and I would say, Elizabeth.
Okay. I love Elizabeth.
Yes.
That's different.
I guess I'm going to go with Elizabeth. And thinking about this season in my life now, I believe that God still has work for me to do. And that there will be new ministries and new opportunities birthed in this season of my life that I don't, even expect that it could, that it's still going to happen. He's been bringing so many people and opportunities and experiences, including yourself, right? Like having this opportunity to kind of sit and reflect on my journey. And you mentioned Kat earlier, and one of the things, she's been a real blessing to me. I don't know if I've told her enough, or if she understands just how much she has been a blessing to me. But she was one of the. She will. Yes, you will, Kat. I hired her at my school to be one of the teachers there, and so many of that school was family. When I tell you, the people who were there were a real blessing to me, and we're still connected to this day. There are 3 members of our team who still teach there. There are teachers there who contact me, and we, still stay in touch with each other. It was just, and Kat is among them, and now we're at the same church together. We get to worship together, and I've been blessed to see her children grow. And so she started her own school. And when I tell you what that means for me, and that relationship, yes,
her young baby leaped.
This is and it's not just, and it's her, and it's Christina Ortiz who's over here in another place who's doing, they're like, seeds have been, you know, kind of like planted in other places, and that came out of that experience, and I believe something else is yet to come.
I'm excited for
and
you.
I'm looking forward to that, and so, you know, as all of the Marys that are out there whose babies are leaping and they're doing other things, that is encouraging me that there's still more work for me to do.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
So I'm excited about that.
Man, this conversation has been so rich, and I hate for it to end. I hate for all conversations to end, honestly. But before it ends, I want you to speak a few words into an educator's life in this moment. You know, if you can pour out of your well into someone else's cup? Just fill their cup.
Yes.
Look into the camera and do so.
So whoever is out here watching, whatever season you're in, because we go through cycles and seasons as educators, we are fired up and filled with creative ideas. And then there are those winters and those lean seasons where we, you know, feel like our cup is running out of water and we need to be filled again. I encourage you in those moments, if you are in that particular moment where you're looking to be filled up again, find yourself, one of your students or one of your faculty members, someone who you have poured into, and just sit and watch them for a while, and then think on the lessons that you shared that helped to feed that particular part of that student's experience or that teacher's journey, and know that you're not done yet, and there are thousands of people who are counting on you to be your best you so that they can grow into their best self. And God bless you. God be with you.
That was beautiful, Miss Ballard.
Yes. To God be the glory.
It has been a pleasure and an honor to sit with you. And I know that I learned faith, so much wisdom, and learned with grace on this particular episode of the GraceFully Educated podcast. If you watch until this moment, drop Miss Ballard a comment. Let her know. Encourage her. Let her know that you watched it and you hear and what spoke to your heart, what spoke to your mind, and give her some words of encouragement. Thank you again, and thank you for watching. Have an amazing week on purpose. Bye.
Bye-bye.